What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Metaverse Mixtape. We took a couple of months off for the holidays, and a couple of us got very, very sick, and we were kind of out of action for a couple of weeks. But we back in it. Unfortunately, Marty Dude VR cannot join us tonight. He is busy with the real life job, doing some things, trying to pay the bills. You know how it is sometimes. But we got the rest of the crew here. Mike, aka Live with Mike. I'm your host or co-host, and I'm gonna go in order. To my right, Clay. How you doing, brother?
I'm great. I am stoked to be back hanging out with this crew. This is just always so uplifting hanging out with you all talking about VR. So stoked about it.
Yeah.
Then on the West Coast, we got Sho Futuristic.
What's up, everybody? I miss hanging out with the fellas. This is much needed. So much to talk about.
Oh yes. The backlog of conversation.
Oh yes. Man. Yes.
And in the bottom right corner of my feed, absolutely flexing, just straight flexing. From the spatial world, JDun, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man, from Vision Pro Land, man. All right, like, it feels good. All right, it feels good. You guys look good. You look crispy. And I feel crispy. I'm on top of the mountaintops right now. Y'all can't even see. I'm just meditating in Tim Cook land because, yes, it's a great. We got so much to talk about, y'all. So forget the persona. I'm ready just to talk about everything VR. Like, for real.
No, we not gonna forget the persona because Apple told us Apple told us we can't say VR anymore. We got to say spatial.
That's right.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Nah, a lot happened in the last 2 months, but we got to start with the elephant in the room. Walk us through your experience getting the AVP, and what your first 24, 48 hours has been like since you had it. I mean, it's been 3 days now since we record this.
Okay,
so first,
okay.
What was the store experience like? You and a wife got one, so
man. Yeah, man. So we, shout out to Apple for always having, really good experiences for customers. So I woke up literally at the crack of 6 a.m. like, yo, it's time to go. I was in there doing my dances. Y'all can't even see my dance moves right now, but I was like dancing.
We see your hands.
I put out a reel where I literally like woke like I was waking up. That's literally how I woke up. Like I was ready. So my appointment was for 9. Her appointment was for 11. I went to go pick mine up. I made sure that I had some protection with me because I was afraid someone in Louisiana was gonna try to get at me. So anyway, my stuff was smooth, man. Now, I'll be honest with you because my skin is melanated. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't think they thought I was coming in there to buy one.
No,
we just gonna keep it. This is
no. We gotta keep it 100.
We gotta keep it 100. All right, Metaverse Mixtape Talk.
I don't get that in New York because in New York it's a just mixing bowl, right? So anybody can buy it. But that I love that you shared that because
I walked through the door. So I'm doing my content creator thing. I'm walking through the door, taking pictures and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, yes, sir. Hey, can we help you? I was like, yeah, I'm here for the Apple Vision Pro. Oh, you're here to demo? I'm like, no, I'm not here to demo. I'm actually here to pick up. Oh, can I see your you scan your thing? I said, oh, sure. And then they scan. Oh, you got the 1 terabyte. Yeah. Can you just go get my stuff, man? So we get to the bag. They say, do you want a demo? I say, actually, no. I'm going to take it home, and like, we just want to make sure you get the right fit. So shout out to them. They did do the little scan thing, and I got a chance to put it on the store. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Now this is transparent. When I did it in the store, I was like, yo, this pass-through is a lie because this is not what I was expecting. When I'm saying it did not look like what I thought it was going to look like. I was like, this is not as good as I thought it would be. And I was kind of scared. I was like, oh man, oh crap, did I buy a $3,500 device that has the same or on par same as Quest 3 pass-through? I was like, okay, I'm gonna still go home, and maybe it just wasn't adjusted to my eyes properly. Maybe it was the lighting, I don't know. So let me get home. So after going through that and getting out the store, I get home. I didn't really have a whole lot of time, but I for sure wanted to, before we took Joy to the store to get hers, I was like, let me make sure this thing is actually what they say it is. So when I got home, I unboxed it. It's a whole unboxing experience with Apple. You gotta pull a tab here. And you pull a tab.
The plastic.
There,
it's like they make the sound perfect as soon as you pull the tab. Each and
then it's the right amount
of angel sing. As you pull the strap.
It really does. Like literally, Hallelujah comes out, and literally And you slide the box up, and there it is, you know, with its bra on and everything. It's like I was undressing it.
Wow.
It was amazing. Well, it
Is
does.
this
It's
an
a
over
bra.
18? Is this an over 18 podcast?
There is a
what
bra.
What are we talking
okay,
about?
There is a bra. So anyway, so I took off the bra of the Vision Pro, and then I put this thing on and put
You
the
did
battery.
this, Mike. You got us together. This is
Yes,
don't shake your head.
This is all
Don't
about.
shake your head.
This is what it's all about. So yeah,
I'm just along for the ride today.
That's it. No, man. So you know, I got it out the box, put it on, it adjusted to my eyes, and when that Apple logo went away and it faded away, and I saw that hello in my room, I was like, okay, now I'm excited. So then I couldn't even finish that joy. It's like, oh, it's time to go get mine. So we go get hers. She had a smoother transition. She came a little bit more business looking. You know, I was kind of came in there a little raggedy. I ain't gonna lie. I came in there. You know, it was 9 o'clock in the morning, man. You know, I'm just coming to pick up my stuff.
You pull up with a hoodie.
Put up, you know it. The same hoodie I got on right now. I had everything that you see me on right now, because it's how I took my persona. Exactly what I had on. So anyway, man, we went in the store. She got hers. Everything was good, and we got home, and then we just started messing with them things immediately. And of course, I will say I had to do this persona scan about 5-6 times before it looked like me. But y'all, I got to be. We gonna get into it. I know we're gonna get into it because I know Sho is holding back like a billion words right now of how he feel about spatial computing. But my first initial impression was when I was once again on a mountaintop, looking over these mountaintops, but I have my messages there. I'm FaceTiming with my wife. I got a game over here, and I'm looking at an iPad Twitter app that's, you know, because they don't have Twitter yet. So I'm using Twitter in the iPad app. And I'm like, I've never been able to have a device that does all of this so seamlessly, and it's so gorgeous. And the sound is so crisp, and the microphones are so dope. And my persona looks so amazing that I'm just like, thank you, Apple. I'm so appreciative. So I get to sit here on the couch today with my family, talking to you guys in relaxing mode, but still be presentable, thanks to the Vision Pro. So that's what I got to say about that.
You know, it's so weird because I'm watching your persona, and I watched. First of all, shout out to Spatially Aware, your new podcast. It was dope. It was nice watching. I love watching it. But talking to you in real time right now, I have to eat crow. I said on my last video that I thought the personas were gross, right? I thought they were gross. And I'm watching you, and I'm going, I know that I'm looking at a digital representation of you. I've gone through the process of this is fake to wow. I'm totally accepting you as a presence here. This is the real you as far as I'm concerned. And I could see taking it seriously in a business meeting. The only thing I'm distracted by right now is that you keep phasing in and out of transparency. But other than that, I'm totally caught by the way the persona looks. I'm caught off guard.
I have to agree. When you first popped onto the cast today, I was like, wow, that's very weird. And quickly, I've forgotten. Yeah. Right? I've forgotten that that's what I'm doing. I mean, obviously, you don't look like yourself, but you look like yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I can see this really, really. I thought that I've seen people say that it's kind of akin to like a PS3 avatar.
Yeah, like an NBA.
That was going around a lot.
Yeah,
but it's more than that. Your eyes actually move, and you know that's what's important.
Yeah, man,
it's in your essence.
And the blurringness is like when stuff gets too close, either to if my hands get too close to my face, or if I move a little bit too far out, or this is super beta. Like they're still very much saying this is a beta feature. We are, content creators, we gonna push stuff to the max. This was not intended to be used this way. I'm not supposed to be doing interviews like this, but I'm gonna do it because that's what we do. We podcast it like this, man. So that's why me and Joy decided, we was like, we're gonna do a whole show in our personas, be one of the first to do that. Just be in the stamp in history, so that when these things get better, volumetric better, or however it's going to do, whether that's in this headset or in future headsets, we're going to be able to see, man. So, all right, but Sho, I want to hear your thoughts, man, because you did your demo. What you thinking, man?
And then I have a ton of questions. So I'm going to let you rock, Sho.
Lead into it. Because
I know that you three got to connect this week. So this is my first time.
Oh my god!
physically
And
talking
that
to
conversation need to go down in history as like the
I
battle.
wish we had recorded it. I wish we
the
recorded it. I wish
the
we just
battle-
hopped in here and did it.
We've
the
had time
battle
to refine thought, so it's fine.
of one Infinity Loop. That's what I'm gonna call it. The Battle of Infinity Loop.
How
Yes.
so?
Because Sho was me and Sho and Mike was going at it back and forth with our thoughts, and it was good thoughts. It was good stuff. But just our predictions of what this actually means for the ecosystem.
I'm the wet blanket. I'm the wet blanket of this whole thing. That's the thing.
You're kidding. You're the Apple fanboy, though.
I sure am, and I wouldn't call myself a fanboy.
I was
but
surprised too. I was really surprised.
Yeah, I use Apple, but I'm realistic about my outlook with all of this. I don't have any love. I don't make any money off any of these people. So whether they go down or not, I don't, I'm not as invested as fanboys are. But I appreciate good product and I use their product. I appreciate Meta. But go ahead, lead with your questions and I'll get into mine later because I know you have many.
I mean, the first question I will have is as I saw all the unboxings and I saw all of the tech enthusiasts have a POV on this. What is your POV as a VR enthusiast, right?
Great.
This is Apple's first entry into the space. They don't want to be associated with VR, but you have owned all the headsets. You've tried them all out. You've promoted different pieces of content and work in each headset. How does this compare? Like, where does this fit now that you have it on your face? Like, where does this fit?
Okay. This is the best mixed reality device I've ever experienced in my entire life. And I use that very, very on purpose, saying mixed reality. Now, when it comes to virtual reality, there really isn't a whole bunch to this that makes me go like, "Oh, this is the best of all time." I've experienced better virtual reality games and experiences on Quest, on different systems. But when it comes to mixed reality, where this thing, like right now, I just dialed. I know Upload VR calls it the reality dial. I just took the digital crown, and I was originally in the mountaintops, but I wanted to find my water, so I just moved the dial. And now you guys are in my room. I see my entire room in perfect color pass through. I see the keyboard and I have a trackpad in front of me, my water right here. You can't see it, but I can. And I'm like, the shadow on the ground where this window is real to me. Like everything seems real. You guys are in 4K. It's super crisp. I don't when I put the Quest 3 on after experiencing this for like 2 days because I wanted to do some content, my eyes for a second was like, what am I looking at? Like, it was that much of a change between what I see in Quest. And Quest is fantastic. Quest 3 is incredible. But coming to this device, to that, it was like, wait a minute, what happened? So as a VR person, I'm gonna say, man, there's only one thing I did that's like VR related to me that's like insane, and that's their environments. Like when you go to a Disney Plus app and you go to the Disney theater, it's insane. It's nothing like the home environments we have with Quest. These things are the most realistic looking things I've ever seen in any platform. The dinosaur experience that comes into your room, you swear, even if you know it's fake, you swear that dinosaur is about to bite your hand. You swear you will jump back. It's just that real to you. And other than that, it's for me. I did Jetpack Joyride, and I was surprised that it was a virtual reality wrapper around that put me into an environment where I played a flat game, and I was like, okay, this is different. But we don't have like Rec Room, we don't have Horizon, we don't have VR chat, so the social aspect is the part that's missing for me. Yes, I have FaceTime, and I can FaceTime people who have a Vision Pro, but how many people have a Vision Pro right now? All my friends got Quest, so. Now I'm looking at Mark Zuckerberg and I'm looking at Meta saying, can I get my Meta avatar to be a plug-in that I can now call my friends in their headsets from the Vision Pro or vice versa, and now call people with my avatar? Because I've gotten used to this now to where I don't really want to get in front of the camera much no more, man, unless I got to.
I mean, especially when you have those bad haircut days. I mean, your avatar is just going to be crispy the whole time.
I mean, bro,
just join the Bald Brotherhood, and you won't have any problems with that. So,
is that even your hair? Did you get the lineup before you?
I mean, bro, I got, bro. I'm telling you, that's my hair. But I even got my chain in there a little bit, man. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, I'm just wishing that Apple will allow us to have like multiple versions of them. So if I wanted to have a suit on, if I wanted to have something different on, that would be really nice. And I'm sure that's going to come eventually. But.
Yeah. And I know that they're working on their Gen AI stuff that should be announced later this year. So there's something to see. Interesting to watch. Interesting space to watch for them.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
You know,
Sho. I'm gonna feed off of you. I want to know what your thoughts are.
It's funny.
Especially
I've
since
got
you did your demo.
now that I've had hands on with the headset, and once again, the demo's too short. 30 minutes is not enough time at all.
No, sir.
It
Can I ask one question about the demo? Is it a controlled demo, or are you kind of allowed to free flow a bit?
It's supposed to be controlled, but I kind of ran with it because I was moving faster than she was. Once I got it, they gave me extra time because the startup was so troubled. We had problems getting hooked up to the headset for various reasons that were outside of the demo control, right? Also, I'm going to just say it right up. I have a problem with hand tracking. I have dark skin, and I have yet to find a system that
I've heard that.
You feel me? Yeah,
I've heard that.
I have yet to find a system that has great hand tracking for dark skin. I don't know if it's because it deals with contrast, but yeah, I had some issues with the hand tracking. It was a little too sensitive in points, and then not sensitive at all. In fact, quite often, the system would do its own thing. And I don't know if you've encountered this, JDun, but there would be times where I accidentally swipe and I'm not really doing anything, and the whole thing would start moving. I'm like, what's going on? Right? But it's okay. I chalked it up to learning, to growing pains. But my takeaway from watching probably every single video on YouTube about the Vision Pro this weekend, and then finally experiencing it, there were a lot of questions that were answered. For starters, Mark Zuckerberg should be jumping through the ceiling with joy right now, because this was a validation for him. This was a huge validation.
You can see it in the stock price.
You see that stock price?
Yeah, right. You saw the stock price, right? Meta could have put out this system or something. Meta could have put out hardware approximating this earlier.
Good correction.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Hardware. The distinction is important.
Good correction.
Right. But there's no way they would have gotten away with putting out anything in the 3000s. Nobody would have, and it would have killed it, right?
No chance.
Man,
now,
when the Quest Pro was announced at 15,
yes,
the audible scoffs that I've heard around the world.
If you watch Connect back when they announced the price, there was an audible gasp.
Yeah. So now that I've played with the headset and knowing Apple, do I think this headset is worth $4,000? Because that's what we're really talking. Once you get rid of the enthusiast tax, there's still a lot of work to be done with the headset. I feel like there's software enhancements. There's no physical hardware problems that I think need to be addressed right now. This headset can rock for a few years, right? It's just software upgrades. Would I pay $4,000 for it? Not yet. Not yet, but close. Even if I needed it in my work situation, unless a company's paying for it, not quite yet. Would I pay $2,500 for it? That sounds like the magic number to me. I would do $2,500 for it, because that's the price of a really good laptop. And that's essentially what Apple is asking you to replace, technically, is a laptop and an iPad Pro into one unit.
Correct.
So that's the first thought. The second thought is, as I was going through the demo, I was thinking, man, there's a lot of stuff in here that I wanted Meta to do years ago.
Come on.
Just didn't do it, right? For example, when I first put on the headset, the thing that I would impress people with is taking them to like a safari, right? There's a video of showing a lion coming up to you, right? But the footage is so bad, right? So all the footage, in fact, when you go to the Oculus Reddit, that's the first thing everyone asks. Where's the 4K footage? Where's the good footage? Well, bro, I guess Apple bought it all. Because when you put on that Apple headset and you look at their footage, the Safari, I don't care what it is, Safari footage, concert footage, whatever, it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's slight compression, but whatever. It feels like you are there.
You could look. There was a shot on. You could look in the pores of this woman. There's like a high line thing when she's walking the high line. You can see into her eyeball. Like you can see the clarity. No, but I'm not even. Like me and my wife, we watched yesterday. We're in the headset for 2 hours. We're doing some review stuff, so we're like, how long can we wear this? We're doing all these types of things, and we watched every immersive thing Apple had in their library, and we're watching the highlight thing. And when the lady comes on screen, you're like, wait a minute, bro! I can see into her pupils. I can see her skin cracks in her skin. Like that's how much detail you can see with these panels. It's insane, man. But go ahead, Sho.
Yeah, no, it's all good. There's little stuff I keep thinking about when I think back to the experience, like things, and I think this is the biggest takeaway. There's things that Meta just doesn't care about because they are a hardware focused tech bro company. That's the best way to put it, right?
Come on.
So, for example, I like going into the what do you call it? The backgrounds of Meta. Sometimes I just like sitting in my MetaQuest and chilling out, right?
Absolutely.
Because the background should be beautiful. There's no limitation on why the backgrounds don't look good, right?
Yeah.
If you want to sit in your home space. On the Apple Vision Pro, the backgrounds are stunning. They're like the screensavers that you get on an Apple TV or something, right? And they have sound, which caught me way off guard. I wasn't expecting that. They have ambient sound. There's animation. So you'll see like water or trees moving. It's quite beautiful. But rain. Yeah.
But can I say this?
Yeah.
I meant to post about it. If you're on top of the mountaintop and you say something, it echoes.
Facts.
I'm
That's
like the
wild.
littlest.
That is amazing.
And so if you're in the headset and if I'm talking, I'm hearing echo. Like it's and if I'm loud, it gets louder. If I'm quiet, it gets quiet. I've never seen nothing like that before, and nothing virtual. And it changes. So if it's dark, if it's dark outside, it'll be dark in there. If it's
and the takeaway isn't. It's not that the Quest 2 can't do these things. These are pre-rendered things, right? It's that these are things that Meta, as a company, as a philosophy, just doesn't think of. They don't care. They don't think about the experience. When I was in the Apple headsets, I was trying to find reasons to take it off. You want to stay in these environments. It compels you to go from experience to experience.
Come on.
As opposed to Meta, you're looking for reasons to put it on. And there's a huge schism in how they approach this. When they announced the specs of the Apple Vision Pro, I was thinking, man, that's a lot. I mean, this thing has 16 gigs of RAM. That's the M2 chip. It's got a lot. And I was thinking, well, why does this need that much power, especially if you're bringing in your laptop? Well, after today, I know why. It's smooth. And when I say smooth, I don't mean like, oh, it's mind-blowing. I mean the operations smoothly go between apps, between movements on the screen. When I'm in a MetaQuest, I feel like at any moment, this house of cards is about to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it's rickety. It's barely holding it together.
Yeah.
The Quest 3 operating system, the UI just feels like, yo, this is working right now. But at any moment, this frame is going to freeze. The background is going to go black. I'm going to get stuck and I'm going to get sick or something because it just dropped out. I don't know how many times I have no Quest because it feels like some barely held together Android stuff.
Yeah.
That's not the case with the Apple. This feels like a cohesive, smooth system. And what really caught me this weekend, not from the experience, but from watching videos, and now that I've touched the device, I didn't realize that you can actually do everything in it. The laptop is great for real work, but technically, you can work without the laptop. You could edit video.
I was gonna ask that.
DaVinci Resolve, yeah.
DaVinci is on there, and oh my God, you can. I didn't realize that you could capture media from your point of view. You could technically do a whole podcast. Well, JDun did it, but you can replace your camera if you are devoted to just making Apple media for YouTube. You can use your avatar to present the information. It has a flawless, effortless screen capture system, and it's easy to transfer that media to your system and upload it. You don't have to go through any screen capture or Chromecast or any kind of jank system. It's just part of the OS. Yeah. It's a beautiful system.
So the question I have from that, I have a few. So what doesn't it do well? JDun, you mentioned the
I was just about to ask that question.
What doesn't it? Because it has to be missing something.
It's not
as if it was perfect as we're describing it. Then to your point, Sho, it sounds like a $3,500 device, and there's no reason for you don't want to take it off, and it does everything, and you can work from it remotely. That sounds like a $3,500 device.
All right, you ready? You ready? So this is not a fun device. It's not. It's not. I wouldn't even say it's a social device. Like I have not had a social. Yes, I FaceTimed two people who had just so happened to have Vision Pros, and we played Hearts together on a game board, and that was okay. It's their whole avatar wasn't here; they were still in the window. It wasn't like I saw them embodied in front of me. It's not very social, and there's really no apps. There's no games. There's like 6 total games that you could really kind of say you playing, and the rest of them are like solid, like nothing. And
like
we
that
went
sweet
through
the resolution made.
Yeah, like
Then
it
Resolution
was.
Make a Suite was like Solitaire and Battleship.
Yeah, Solitaire,
And,
Hearts,
yeah.
Yahtzee, and
Right.
Battleship, and like it's cool. But after you played Hearts and Solitaire and Battleship, and
Yeah.
until like a
playing in the
Demio,
80s.
yeah. Now here's the thing: Unity just shipped. Here's the part that's funny about this. Unity just shipped like their official tools for this. It shipped on Thursday. The thing came out on Friday, and people were able to start uploading these games. Is it going to, in 3-4 months, is it going to be full of it? Heck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And there's some experiences on here I've never had, like 2D games, but still having a 3D aspect. Like there's a Cut the Rope. On Cut the Rope, it is gorgeous. It is, I call them lickable graphics. Okay, it's this thing that shows up in your room. I know. Look, I know I'm weird because it's 4K.
We love it.
It looked like I was watching a cartoon. It looked like I was watching a cartoon from it, but I'm playing a game, and it's in this little box in my room, and it's 3D depth. So as I'm playing it, and I'm like, you could take a 2D game like a Sonic and just give me some depth like 3DS. I know we're gonna talk about that, and I'm cool with that. But the problem is, it's not fun. This is a phenomenal computing device.
Yeah.
This is my new computer. Like, if I'm traveling, I'm no longer bringing a laptop. Ever again. Like I have LumaFusion on here. I got DaVinci Resolve. I'm going to Immerse coming to this platform, so give me multiple screens. I'm going to have screens in other, like I have TeamViewer. I have licenses to all these things through my job. So TeamViewer to remote into PC, SplashTop to remote into my home PC. Like I'm not going to need to do anything on a physical computer with this device.
Yeah.
I'm walking around. I can anchor things where I want to anchor them at. I'm having a good time talking with you guys. My messages is up here. The thing that is missing is the apps. The thing that is missing is the fun. The thing that is missing is the social. And I don't think I don't think Apple is trying to create a metaverse. They said it. In fact, they said, you'll never hear us use the term metaverse ever. So now if they call it something, they might call it like, persona worlds.
Yeah.
Persona world, your digital persona world, but
Spaces, Apple Spaces. Yeah,
and
they'll
then,
do something simple like that.
But honestly,
Elon
that's the thing. That's the thing that's missing. And we went through the entire store and we realized it's just no apps here. It's just nothing here,
So I'm not too worried. I was a self-proclaimed Apple fanboy. I owned the first iPhone. I owned one of the first iPods. I owned the first iPad and the first iPad Pro. And the thing that, as I'm hearing you talk, I'm realizing it's the same thing for all of their generations. They make really, really solid hardware, and they focus on that to give it to give it like a length of time in market, and then the software will come. When I got the first iPhone, that thing had Safari, a YouTube app, and Mail, and like Calendar. There was no app store. That was all it did.
Mail wasn't even great either.
Right, Mail wasn't even that good. And that's all it did. And it was still a phenomenal device because I could have my iPod and my phone, and I can browse the internet. And it just did those three things really well. And that's what I'm hearing here.
And I love this. I love what you just said because I love your heart too. And I love everybody's thought to say it has to be missing something. The funny thing is the apps are here. It's iPhone and iPad apps. Like any game you could play on. Like I know Genshin Impact is one of the biggest games. It's not on here yet, but they're getting it. They're fixing it. There's some things they want to do, even though it's not going to be optimized for Vision Pro. You'll be able to download the iPad version of the game and play with a controller. I'm playing Sonic Dream Team, which is our Apple Arcade game, and I'm playing it, and it looks incredible in 4K on this in Vision Pro, and I'm still having my messages and a YouTube window over. It does the apps. It just doesn't have anything specifically made for it yet. And it's going to take time. And I think 2.0 WWDC is coming in literally 5 months. And they're going to probably show off a new version of this thing that's going to blow people's socks off.
I hope so. I think that the first iPad, the very first one, ran on iOS. It ran on the iPhone OS, right? It was called
you have
iPhone
to blow up
OS.
the screen.
And it was just a big iPhone.
Yeah.
That's all it was, right? So I'm excited to see where this goes. I think they're testing the market. They're pressure testing the market. They're trying to understand what the price points are that people will buy this thing at, and if they have the resources to continue, we'll see where it goes. So all good signals so far.
To your point on the apps, I did want to point this out. because I actually bookmarked this and we were going to talk about this. A lot of these developers didn't get dev kits.
Correct.
And just like we talked about with PSVR 2 and with Quest 3, they got them, 6 at most 8 months ahead of time. So that's why you're seeing a lot of Quest 3 games launch without enhancements. That's why you're seeing a lot of the PSVR 2 games get ripped apart by Marty in reviews because they look like shit. Pardon my language. So I reposted this. I'm going to credit this person, Krishna Jagadish. To all the people who are reviewing Vision Pro apps today, please be kind. Most of us have worked without a device on hand every day and have made our best efforts to get it right. We are cross countries to test it on the. We are cross countries to test it on the device for a handful of days. We can only improve from here, and we will. And then Resolution Games was posting in their Discord and on social media, basically saying when people were crapping all over the fact that the version of Demio they can play is the iOS version, the iPad version. They said the same thing. We're working on getting the AVP version ready. We just haven't had the resources. Basically saying we didn't have a headset in hand to test this on and stress test and all that. So much like we said about Quest 3, much like a lot of people said about PSVR 2, even though that hasn't really happened, I'm more interested in what this looks like in about 6 months.
Bro.
6 months to a year when devs have had time to really dig into it and give it their full attention, or at least as much as they want to give it.
There are already people getting Steam VR working on this thing, man. So I mean, it's just a matter. It's just a matter of time. And guys, I could sit here all night and tell you guys and sing Apple's praises, but the reality is, Quest has the game library. It's got Asgard's Wrath 2. This thing is not going to play Asgard's Wrath 2 unless they come out with controllers. That's right, you point to it. Unless they come out with controllers, and it's the thing. Will Apple? I'm gonna tell you something. Will Apple? I'm gonna say this right now. I got to do my thing when I talk to the camera.
Can you point?
Okay, I'm gonna point to the camera.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
I'm
gonna tell you this right now. All right, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Apple will ship controllers. It will ship at, I would say, maybe 3.0, 4.0. They do it all the time. They always say, "Oh, we don't need a stylus." No. The whole time, the stylus been in there, and they just didn't like none of the prototypes. They didn't like none of the stuff. They're going to ship controllers because what's going to happen is real game developers are going to keep telling them, we can't really use this platform. Hand tracking is cool for some stuff, but we need buttons. And they're going to come out with something, whether it's something that straps to your arm. They're going to, because you know what? Playing Synth Riders, my wife said it perfectly. It looks incredible on the Vision Pro, but there's no haptics. So when you're doing the wave and you're hitting notes, you can't feel anything. Yes, we got an Apple Watch on, but it doesn't vibrate when it happens. They have the ecosystem, guys? Yes, they do, but they have not tapped into everything yet.
Even if they used the watch for haptics, how many people are going to wear 2 Apple Watches? Other than a certain person we all know on Twitter. So do you want haptics on one wrist? Like, that just feels hokey.
Or buy B haptics, and then bring out some type of haptic.
And then you're talking
bracelets.
So I'm going to disagree.
You're talking hidden costs and added costs and things like that. So now you're just,
Oh, that's Apple's way, man. Come on, that's the way of Apple, man. That's the way.
This is where I become the wet blanket, and this is where I disagree with JDun. I think anybody buying the Apple Vision Pro with any idea of gaming in mind is looking at this from the wrong perspective. This is never going to be a gaming
device. Not going to stop people, though. That's not going to stop. How many people bought Quest Pros wanting it for gaming?
But the Quest Pro is actually a good gaming device.
Yeah, it's just a souped up Quest, so that's acceptable, right?
But I mean, like, the number of people. But I mean, like Meta was saying, this is not a gaming device. This is a productivity device. This is not meant for gaming. And so many people bought it for gaming and then bitched about the fact that, why aren't you using dynamic foveated rendering with the eye tracking on Quest Pro? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? And the devs were like, there's like 10,000 of these out in the wild. We're not doing that.
Buying the Quest Pro for gaming isn't flawed logic, because it's still a Quest 2. It's still at foundation level, a Quest 2 with access to that full library. Now, could Meta have used foveated rendering? Well, apparently nobody's really using foveated rendering. People weren't doing it on PSVR. It was too much of a resource drain, right? So we can't fault Meta for that. So if you went into Quest Pro thinking I'm going to get great games, that's not too flawed. You got a Quest 2.
Can I say,
but Apple Go ahead. I'm going to counter with Apple or why Apple. That's not the right way to approach it.
Apple this is all Apple's doing this foveated ring, and this whole time, when I record, this thing can't run. Let me tell you what's so funny about this. When I screen record, it's recording what my sweet spot is seeing. Everything else is blurry. So even if I put a view out, everything else around me, unless I'm looking straight ahead, everything else around is blurred. Like that's the system. In order for you to see how this really looks, I have to mirror it. I have to go through a whole process with a developer account and go through a Reality Composer Pro. And this is the funny thing. If I go through all of that, I can only record for like 4 or 5 minutes because it's forcing the Vision Pro is to remove the foveated rendering, and this thing has to now process all this 4K, all this data, and so you can record for about 4 or 5 minutes and it's cool. It looks really dope. But after that, this thing is burning up. So the reality is, I think Meta goes to, Mark buys this device, he goes in the lab, he goes, okay, I'm noticing they're using this app, it's foveated rendering. The Quest Pro can now have new life to me, because if I wanted to get a Quest 3 boost type of graphics, the Quest Pro technically could do it just with dynamic foveated rendering. So if we get the eye foveated rendering, that would work. I think we're going to see new life being breathed into these devices because of what Apple is doing. And that's what I'm more excited about more than anything. I'm excited because now this forces Meta to think about an Android store. Whether they got to go buy their own store, they got to play cool with Google. They're going to have to, bro, because they're not going to survive. They're not going to survive.
I'm not saying they don't have to. I'm saying Google's coming out with their own headset. Google's not giving up that.
Yeah,
but that's why I said they're going to have to partner with somebody. Amazon App Store, something.
Wait, what? I mean, and this is not, and I wasn't talking about foveated rendering. I'm mostly saying that if you want to look at the gaming future of the Apple Vision Pro, look at the iPad Pro. Pick one. Pick the most powerful iPad you have, right?
Yeah.
Will it have games on the platform? Of course. The iPad Pro is a beastly 2D gaming machine, right? But don't forget, a lot of VR games are either made in Unity or some kind of bespoke software engine or Unreal, right? We already know that developers don't like working in Unity. I mean, it's problematic from what I understand. I'm not a developer, but what I read, Unity has its own share of problems. People want to work in the more advanced Unreal for various reasons that, I mean, Mike, you would know, you're in the development side. Either way, Unreal ain't coming to the Apple anytime soon.
It actually just was announced today. So
really,
yes,
Tim and Tim Apple and
Tim Apple and Tim Senior,
but Tim Apple and Tim Epic kissed and made
up. No. Well,
no,
it's not. Unreal support was always for the Vision Pro. Nah, it's not.
But not the future, not the latest Unreal Engine. Yes, we know it has Unreal Engine 4.
No, it's 5. It's 5.5.
They got 5 on Apple.
5 coming, man. It's coming. I just saw the tweet on Reddit, man. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. This is a new paradigm, y'all. You got to remember, they're going to be launching Fortnite in the UK because they can finally come back on iOS because they're going to be launching their own store. So they got to have the newest Unreal Engine running on these platforms. So they kind of have to play nice with Apple anyway. So that's all I'm trying to tell y'all is, I'm with
I hear you. If we had to put a vote,
Death Stranding
I'm
is
going to be on
this
Sho's
device.
team.
Resident Evil 4 now is on the device. What was that?
Yeah.
New Prince of Persia. What was it?
Resident Evil
Assassin's
8,
Creed.
Death Stranding is on
all
iPads,
of that's coming. As I say, it plays wonderfully on here, man.
But I'm not convinced. Here's why I'm not convinced. Right? I think that the AVP is Apple is going to play in a space that Meta's not going to be in. They want to carve out their own thing, right? Like, let the Oculus store live, let the MetaQuest store live on its own. They want to be so far away, and they're going to come up with their own paradigm, whatever framework for this. And I think they're going to squarely make this an independent, individual productivity entertainment device.
Absolutely, that's
whatever fits in that bucket. That's their jam.
Yeah, that's what I love.
I don't think they're going to get into the
no. They don't want They don't want hardcore gamers. That's never going to be their play. But casual Candy Crush Saga gamers.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. But guess what? There's more of them than there is of us.
Yes,
who are playing, who want to get into Asgard's Rap.
I agree.
This is why I said games are still going to come to this platform that's on Quest. Like Just Hoops is coming to this. Anything that can be played on here, you best believe it's going to come simply because of that. Like
That's different. You
Rogue
were saying
Ascent,
controllers, and okay, that's different.
Rogue Ascent from Click Games will kill on this device right now. It would kill because there's no game like it on the platform, and no one's ever played a game that perfectly works with hand tracking like Rogue Ascent. And I mean, Rec Room is coming, so we shall see, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that is probably the right angle, right?
Look, Mike want to say something about Rec Room.
I just
mobile gaming is the
on
biggest market within the gaming space. Like mobile, like people don't realize how the billions of dollars are just in mobile gaming. We laugh at the Candy Crushers that they're not big. Those guys are making bank. So if you want to be able to get to the masses quickly,
yes,
mobile gaming is it. And if AVP wants to play in that space, that makes sense.
Well, we were
casual gamer is going to be weird because who's casual with a $3,500 device?
Me and Mike was at
future
at DreamHack Atlanta, and I was down there with Snapdragon for the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship. So these kids are up there, and now I'm talking about millions of dollars up there, bro, for Call of Duty Mobile, which guess what is coming to this platform. So to me, I'm like, it's
and it had the biggest crowd of anything that was happening there when we were at DreamHack. That had by far. I went to the other tournaments. I went to the second tournament. I went to the Smash Brothers tournament. COD Mobile had the biggest group, had the biggest crowd.
Yeah, you know, the other thing no one's talking about is with regards to gaming on Apple Vision Pro. I don't think I want the Quest type of games on the Apple Vision Pro, just by nature of how fragile and fragile. That's a good word. Fragile and expensive the Apple Vision Pro is. It is extraordinarily well made. It is, but in many regards, it's kind of fragile too. Like you have to hold it the right way. The magnetic grips will fall apart if you don't hold it the exact right way.
On the facial interface.
So
on the face.
So you don't want supernatural? You don't want to work out with this thing in 4K?
Actually, I do not.
Oh man!
Not on Apple Vision Pro. When you have the freedom,
it falls off my face, and now that glass breaks and that metal dents.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You got that Apple Care, bro. You got
that $500 Apple Care.
That $300 for real. Yeah, for real. Hold on, like that's we gotta talk about the price.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Show's bad.
No, finish your point because I think you're about to make the same point I got.
I'm sitting at my desk and I'm using this thing for productivity. I'm not taking this on the train. I'm not skateboarding down Central Park. I'm not doing any of that crazy stuff I've seen online. I'm using it as intended.
On a plane, though.
You're not driving your Tesla? You're not driving your Tesla?
Your Cybertruck?
But on a plane, no doubt. You're right about that. Yeah, people are wild.
That video actively pissed me off because I'm like, that's distracted driving on another level. That's distracted driving. It's distracted driving on another level, and we all know that people will follow stupid crap they see on social media all the time.
Clay's marketing team is working with Apple, and he told him that, look, we need you guys going into restaurants with these.
Go things. Wild with it. Anything you could think of. I saw Justine. She had hers in a pool. She was like, I don't recommend it, but she had hers in a pool. I was like, I saw a dude literally pick up one and drop it from.
That was for
just to break the glass to see what would happen.
From 12 feet in the air, he would do everywhere he could do.
To be privileged enough to play with $4,000 like that.
And by the way, he bought 3 of them.
Whatever. I would treat that thing like a newborn infant. I would hold it so carefully, so delicately. And the show's point, there's no way in hell.
I put mine in the box every single day when I leave. And I'm doing
box. How about a Fabergé case? What are you talking about? Box.
with retinal scans to open.
Exactly. Retinal scan, fingerprint scan, everything. No, the point I wanted to make, and show you all kind of went there. I think it speaks to the fundamental difference between who Meta and Apple are as companies.
Yeah.
Meta is a social company first. They're into tech and hardware and all that stuff, but everything they do is built around socialization, is built around connecting people. All those AIs they built where Snoop Dogg could be your DM and D&D, that's all about connecting people. That is their mantra. They are a social company. The Quest actually reflects that. That is a social. It sounds funny because of like the lack of connectability and stuff like that, which and then interoperability, which I'm gonna make a video about that pretty soon. It aggravates me, but between VR Chat and Rec Room and Horizon Worlds, and Mark even said it in the first video after WWDC last summer, where he said the thing that stuck out about me when people were showing the Apple Vision Pro highlights is everyone was sitting down. Everyone was just relaxing. Everyone was watching movies. All the ads you've seen for AVP are I'm on a plane and I have a gigantic screen while everyone else is watching on the back of their seat. the most compelling stuff that I've seen for what I would want to use it for are people walking around the house and there's like, stuff pinned and things like that. But for the most part, Meta, to what going back to what Clay said, Meta has no interest in you sitting down with a Quest and watching stuff. They have never promoted that. They've done they did NBA playoff games in Horizon a couple of times and things like that, but they never sent 3D cameras there so you could see all the and turn and see all the user experiences, things like that. They are about connecting people and then the fitness aspect and stuff like that. He said, Mark Zuckerberg straight up said, we want people to get active. Apple has no interest in that. So to Clay's point, I think they're going to play in different spheres and there will be some crossover. There'll be some gaming crossover. There'll be some social crossover, like Rec Room will be on AVP. But I think they're always going to be in two different buckets.
Yeah.
But those are two completely different use cases.
And I want to say this because I'm so tired of the oh my God, you can watch NBA games and this. You could have done that with the Quest since Quest 1. And that it really pisses me off, and I hate to say it that way because I'm I've worked with indie developers like Stadium who makes an incredible application that allows you to watch multiple games at one time. And so people are going crazy like, oh my God, I can watch 3 games. Yeah, you could have been done that. I can run 3 apps at a time. Well, yeah, you could have done it on the Quest right now. You could side load Android apps right now. So a lot of this just comes from people not really knowing anything about VR and XR, and now the general population are seeing it for the first time through Vision Pro and thinking Apple's created it, and that's where I that's what my review when my review comes out is one of the things I will be slamming on hard. They did not create spatial computing term. They did not create VR. They did not create AR. They are changing the terminology, but it's still a terminology that's been around for it since 2018. Magic Leap and HoloLens were already doing all of this. And I've heard, I was listening to a podcast where a guy was like, people from HoloLens is pissed off right now because how dare you, Apple, to say that you created spatial computing when we've been doing it, way before.
But the fundamental difference there is marketing. It's marketing. Meta never advertised that you could do that.
You got Ludacris holding it,
Yeah. I mean, Meta never advertised that you could do that. Apple, that was the first thing they put forward. Look at what you can watch. Look at what you can do. Meta never pushed that.
Well, they did, but they fell back. They didn't follow through. If you remember the first Horizon World commercials, you were supposed to be watching movies together. I'm still waiting to be able to watch things in my home space with people. No, they didn't add. They took stuff away.
Right.
But you can watch. Okay, you can watch movies together. What we can't do, the thing I've been waiting on is YouTube. I'm like, why can't I watch YouTube with other people? But you could do that now with big screen with those horrible, ugly avatars. I'm not going to get into that.
They are ugly.
They're the worst. They're the worst.
That's my favorite app.
Really?
I've always big screen and immerse for the longest on Quest. My favorite two apps, right?
Look at this. Hold on. Big screen. Hold on. What you at? Wait, let me. I got a point. Big screen. Fix your avatars for black people. All right. What's going on? That's my thing. Look, and another thing. I'm gonna go on my rant. Engage. Me and my wife was thanks to Robin. Shout out to Robin from 3 Pound Games. Was invited to an XR Woman event where my wife got a chance to speak, and we had to speak. She had to speak in this platform called Engage. It's like a little metaverse app. The black avatars in there look horrendous. Unless you do light skin avatars, they look like.
You know
look
what?
Like
Say
monkeys.
that again, because it's ridiculous.
It's horrible.
Now. I mean, just outside of this, even in other
avatars.
games. I've just noticed that even in gaming, I'm like, guys, come on, this is ridiculous.
My wife was playing a game that she was going to review this week, and it had. I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want to make the developer upset or not upset, but I don't want to call them out because she has an opportunity to maybe help them change the game. But all the black people in that, there was no black people. The only black that's in there was monkeys. So you had white things presented, and then when there was a black thing presented, it was a monkey. And I'm like, okay, this is too obvious to me. This is a problem. So it's stuff like that. It's fix your avatars, man. Anyway.
Thanks for giving us this forum to do this. It's important, absolutely. Right? Because this is the POV that we don't normally get, right? Like when Sho was like, hey, I have problems with hand tracking because I have dark skin.
Yeah, bro.
That is the first time I'm hearing someone say that. And that's why these kind of conversations are important. So thanks for calling it out there. Unfiltered. Yeah. Let's go authentically ourselves.
It's dope.
Yeah. Although it didn't work for you, Sho, because you didn't own it. I'm just playing with you, man.
And what I think is also important too is that I've noticed that like there's this AVP crowd and they believe that Apple invented the world apparently, and like, oh my gosh, eye tracking is magic. And I'm like, eye tracking's been magic for every device that's had eye tracking. So let's be honest, right? Then we have the Quest people who are like, Quest is going to be the best and it's got this thing, and then the PSVR 2 people who are really upset right now.
I wanted to get to them, but we're coming up on the hour, so we might need to wrap AVP quickly because we need to roast some things. We need to.
It's okay for AVP to take the hour because it's a good one.
I think we're good on AVP, man.
I had a whole segment called "Choosing Violence" that I wanted to get to, where we all just kind of ran for a second. I'm sorry, go
We're
ahead.
just gonna say a rising tide raises all ships, and I think
could not agree more.
This is the validation that the market needed. And I can't wait to see what Meta, what Google, what all these different vendors are going to begin to do because of this space. So, absolutely.
Yep. I appreciate this segment's called "Choosing Violence." Let's just choose it. Let's just.
Well, I want to choose it by saying PSVR 2 is dead.
Oh, okay. Let's just
see. Marty's not here.
He can't defend it.
Yeah, play it's on you. Is PSVR 2 dead? Where's my popcorn?
I don't think PSVR 2 is dead. I think it's doing exactly what Sony intended. I think
nothing. All right.
Great chat. Next topic. My point is their goal, and I said this before, get more PS5s in households with the minimal amount of work, right? So get a VR headset because the market wants a VR headset. Get a portable because the market wants a portable with the Steam Deck and the and the Lenovo that came out. Great, we'll come out with a portable. Quest 3, Quest 2, Quest Pro. Great, we'll come out with a headset. We can do that. But it has to be at the fundamental part to get a PS5. Do I want to put in money to get very, very specific first-party stuff to the PSVR 2? I don't know. How about I just do a VR mode? Right, and that's been their move, right? VR mode in Resident Evil 8, VR mode in Resident Evil 4.
And Sony, you're paying for us to do this too. Capcom didn't pony up all that money for that.
No, right.
Yeah,
but it has to be. They're thinking about coupling it so that it's, hey, here's a very specific first party that's doing well. Resident Evil's really strong one. Let's add a VR mode so that I can make money on both. And we saw how many first party Sony PSVR 2 games are there, like that are native VR?
Horizon,
Call of the Mountain.
That's it.
Synapse, Call of the Mountain.
Synapse. Would you call Synapse first party or just a PlayStation exclusive? Because then Dreams made that.
Fine, you're right. It was a PlayStation exclusive. I'm kind of bucketing them because it's like, what's the reason to believe in the PSVR 2, right?
Okay.
Synapse and Call of the Mountain. That was a year ago.
What about the zombie headshot game? What was that? Everybody was going crazy about, right?
What zombie headshot game?
Zombieland.
That's not an exclusive.
That is copium personified because there's so many. I can name half a dozen games right now that no one ever talked about when they were on Quest. But the second they hit PSVR 2, you know how many people cover Alvo when they hit PSVR 2? I was in the video with Gamertag with it because he was getting people to come play with him so he could do his video. But when that launched on Quest and PCVR, no one ever touched it. Right, it's because they're so desperate for any kind of content that like what's old is new again. And it's going to happen over and over again with the games that we consider mid when they were on other platforms. But because PSVR 2 is so starved for content, they're going to be like, y'all got to check this out. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. But it's weird. It's weird. I'll tell you, as a PSVR 2, it's a very weird time to be a PSVR 2 owner, I have to say. Right? Because some of the titles, at least I was still on the hype from last year. Like, okay, these came out this year. Now I'm like, what's the new stuff? So we have the new Metro game coming out, maybe later this year.
Which will be on every platform.
Right, exactly, right. And then on the State of Play, they announced that game. And then they put what was that game after? Legendary
Tales.
After that, which was an awful comparison when you put those two back to back because they
look like a poor man's Blade and Sorcery. It looks like a poor man.
It was like, hey, here's this Metro game.
Here's the thing. I heard it's incredible. Yeah. I've heard it's on PC. It's incredible, but it's like you put that after that, like.
Moreover, even though it's the full release, now, Legendary Tales has been in early access for as long as it's existed on PC VR.
That's right.
And I'd say, but now it's the full release. We're gonna do the full release for PC VR and PSVR 2. And I'm like, I'm happy for you developers to finally get out of early access and fully release your game.
Yeah.
But if I'm a PSVR 2 owner and I know that this game has existed on another platform for 2 years, am I really excited about that? And then
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that made me think about how many other Melee style games are on that platform, and that was running through my head.
Yeah.
Like, is Blade and Sorcery there?
Swordsman.
Is Battle Talent there? Swordsman. Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
And that's why I said, you know, I when I'm saying poor man's Blade and Sorcery, it's not because of the game. It's the way that trailer looked. It's not the game. It's the way it was presented. And I'm like, why was this? This is a state of. This is their conference to say, look, this is why you should buy a PlayStation 5. This is why you should buy PSVR 2. Metro is coming to every other platform. Oh, and here's this game that's been out for 2 years. It's like, what are you
PlayStation
doing?
is land grabbing content, and they're going to put in minimal work to bring.
Clay.
Yeah.
Clay, we're recording this 3 weeks before PSVR 2 hits a year. I absolutely am going to get you in this studio. And Marty. We're going to sit here in the studio.
We want to have a funeral. We're going to have a funeral.
You know what I should do before we do that? I should actually play a game in PlayStation VR 2. That's what I should do.
What was the last one you played? I actually did the other day. What was the last one you played?
What was the last game the last time I turned it on was to test Cosmo Dread to see how deep the black levels were, because I was trying to decide if I wanted to buy Arizona Sunshine 2 on the PlayStation, and I didn't do it.
I'm on Amazon right now ordering a coffin for this episode.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to have it shipped. I'm offline. I need you to give me your address, Clay.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to have it shipped to you, and then you're going to just box it up and put it in this coffin for that episode.
I haven't turned that on. The last full game I played was Synapse.
Okay.
So don't even remember what month that was.
Go ahead, Sho.
I was going to say, you know why I really feel my heart goes out to PlayStation fans?
Same.
All they want, I can't speak for you, but if I was a PlayStation fan, if Sony just said, hey, man, here's a roadmap. We're going to release PSVR 1 games, and this is going to be out of, that's enough. That's a little bit of water. That's it. But they don't even have the respect to do that. That's
you
not
know
even
how
like
Marvel used to do their like phase 1 releases, and it was like 3 years down the road. Give me that.
Yeah.
I'll run point.
They need their Kevin Feige out there on stage.
You and your Jessica Jones stage, man. You know,
oh no, Jessica Jones is a good show. Iron Fist. You're in the Iron Fist.
It was an incredible show. I was about to say, I said the wrong show.
Yeah.
But
that was ass.
Honestly, I told the fellas this when we was talking the other day. I said, my wife is so excited and so happy. I owe her so much right now, because she was like, we are not buying the PlayStation VR 2 when it came out. She's like, I promise you it's not going to work. I'm like, no, it's going to be huge. She's like, no, watch. Give it a year. And so as we saw the news, she was watching the state of play, and she just bust out laughing. She's like, that's it? It's coming to Quest. She's the one who told me Metro was coming to Quest. She's like, it's coming to Quest. Game over, man. Look, I watched Gamertag stream. He was going wild. Oh my God, Metro. And I'm like, Metro's coming to Quest.
Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, shout out to your wife. Shout out to your better half for pulling you back. Number 2, and I like Gamertag. I'm in Gamertag's Discord. Gamertag and I are friendly. Gamertag is a shooter fan. Of course, he's excited about that. Of course, he's excited about that.
I was excited about it.
Consider the audience. Consider the audience.
I was excited for it, but this is phase 2 of the what was this phase called? Bringing the violence or something?
Choosing violence.
Choosing violence. Yeah. Because I'm choosing violence against vertical games right now.
Yes. I need tea. Right now. I don't have any tea. I'm just gonna drink my water. Go ahead, buddy. I know what you're about to talk about.
I am appalled. Okay, appalled by the grab mechanics in Arizona Sunshine 2. It is disrespectful to the VR community to release a game with the horrendous grab mechanics in Arizona Sunshine 2. Mike watched my whole playthrough.
All 35 hours of that playthrough.
That game took me 15 hours, and I raged for 90% of it because I could barely grab my gun for 90% of the game. So now they're doing Metro, which is another shooter, and I swear they have to be better. Okay, I love you guys. You've done good work before, but that was just unacceptable.
Yeah,
I didn't love Arizona Sunshine 2. I'm not gonna lie. Everyone loves that game. I'm like, this game is
Let's
not
have
that
a real
good.
talk about Arizona Sunshine 2.
Oh my
Because
God.
I liked it, but it was so rage inducing for me mechanically that I could not give it a high score. So when I saw all these people were like 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, these are great, that's great. And I'm raging every minute because I can't do a simple pickup action. And in my mind, I'm thinking, is it me? I've been in VR for almost 4 years now. I've owned a lot of the major headsets. I've tested a lot of games. This does not make sense to me. I had to have Mike talk me off of a ledge a few times.
Just like I said before, consider the audience of who was saying they loved that game and look at the other games that they played. Every single one of those creators who loved that game, look at the other stuff they loved. You will absolutely see a pattern. That's all I'm going to say, because I'm friendly with all these guys. I like all these guys, but people like what they like. And you can, if you love something, you can accept the flaws. We've all been married. Some of us are still married. So you can accept the flaws because you love this thing that much. And
That's true.
and for a lot, the Arizona Sunshine, the first game has a large affinity within like the early adopter base, and they love that game so much because of what it brought to them. That was the first game I played in the VR arcade. I have an affinity with that game. That doesn't mean I'm going to excuse if the sequel doesn't really do it for me. So, like Sho, I mean, Clay, you and I talked about this game extensively. So,
Sho, why didn't you like Arizona Sunshine too?
I expected a significantly bigger upgrade in polish from that game than the amount of time that it took to make it. Like it felt like the first game, but I don't even want to say a minor boost. It felt like the first game. That's what it felt like to me.
I will say,
it had a dog, but Buddy.
Loved Buddy.
Buddy was cool.
And Glizzy physics.
Yeah, but the
spoiler alert: Buddy should have died. I'm just gonna say it right now. Buddy should have died in that
game. There was a lot more VR jank in that game than I was expecting.
Yes, that's the way to put it.
There was a lot of clipping, right? There some things just didn't feel like it flowed very well, and as with the grab mechanics being as bad as they were for me, it was really hard to make that game enjoyable because the crux of VR engagement is being able to use your hands the way that they would be in real life in virtual reality, and I could not do that. So
unless you're playing the UE VR game.
Okay, what? I haven't even tried any UE VR. I'm like, listen, I'm just trying to. You saw how I worked in Arizona Sunshine. You think I'm gonna get UE VR working?
Right.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had to take the shot. So go ahead.
No, that's fine. But that was my biggest beef. So I understand. I don't understand the 9 out of 10 reviews. That was a glaring miss in the review part for me. That's my piece.
I think you nailed it, Clay. It's the jank, and it was the jank, and you're right. Picking up anything was a challenge. But it was definitely the jank. It felt like it definitely needed more polish. But then I thought, is this the limitation of Vertigo? So I don't know.
No,
so
because I just started Assassin's Creed Nexus, and and this is running Quest 3 native. I ran Arizona Sunshine 2 on a PC, and it's a pretty high-powered PC. It's a 4070 in there, right?
Okay.
Assassin's Creed has more polish in my mind than Vertigo 2 did, right?
Absolutely.
And interactions felt like they worked. I'm able to pick up my sword as expected. I'm able to throw darts as expected. I'm able to parkour and grab on things as expected. Couldn't get that from Arizona Sunshine 2, and it just was really frustrating. And they're going to be making the new Metro game, and I cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
For the people who are excited about that, they're gonna love it though. No, the Ghostbusters was in Dreams.
In Dreams, that's right. Okay, and that's definitely not the same company at all. Yeah,
but Dreams also did Synapse. So it's so interesting to see how, because Synapse, while very short, that game was 2.5 hours. The most polished 2.5 hours I've ever played.
Yeah.
Right. Everything was just pristine in Synapse.
And when did that game come out again?
Let me
it was
check.
Like,
What was that?
it was like
last summer.
almost like 7, 8. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So nothing else has come out. No. Okay.
Clay knows this the last time he.
Oh.
Clay knows this the last time he dusted off his PSVR 2 to play
once
it.
again,
So.
I'm gonna need that address, Clay, so I can send this casket for the PlayStation VR 2 because it's dead.
Right.
It's dead.
Where are the VR modes? That's what I want to know. Just the VR modes in their basic first party games. Where is that? Where's anything?
Those are expensive to do well, and some people think, especially with UVR, this wasn't my topic, but I'm gonna go throw it out there. I love UVR for what it's done for the PCVR market, but I hate the fact
Power World. You mean for Power World?
But just in general, but I hate the fact that it has convinced people that every game can be easily translated to VR. Because what you're doing to UVR, to Clay's point about VR and the interactions and like feeling like you're part of this world, UVR is not doing that. It's putting it in VR for you. But have you seen some of the stuff that's happening? A lot of them don't have motion controls, things like that. So, but to do proper VR basically built from the bottom up for VR, or what Capcom has done with their 2 Resident Evil games, that takes a lot of time and a lot of resources, frankly, a lot of money. So Sony could do that. Sony could go to Naughty Dog and say, hey, give me Last of Us 1 in VR. But one, that's going to take a couple of years to probably do that correctly, especially because that game, those 2 games specifically hop around between characters a lot, especially in the second one, because you're between 2 different characters and following 2 different stories in 2 different places. So how do you pull that off in VR? Like those are gonna take time to like conceptualize how you realize those, unless it's just going to be 2D image on the flat screen that you're watching the other person or something like that. That, and I also think Sony knows, this has been my position for quite a long time, hybrid will not sell those headsets. Hybrid will not sell. Hybrid modes being their primary driving force will not sell those headsets because I'm just going to call a spade. We're gamers. We're inherently lazy. We sit down. We like to chill when we play. Like, we're VR people. So we're up and we're active. We're swinging swords and stuff like that. But your average gamer wants to just chill somewhere, sit down in a nice comfy gaming chair or their couch and play a game. So if you can play Resident Evil 4 in VR, and Game Attack got a great post. I keep bringing him up because I don't know why. He wrote a post basically saying that only like 50,000 people or something like that, like 0.1%. I'm exaggerating these numbers, but it's a ludicrously small number of the people who have played Resident Evil 4 Remake have played it in the VR. He's like, I don't understand why people don't want to do this. And it's just a very simple thing. If I can play this game flat right now with controllers and be as comfortable as humanly possible, why am I going to spend $600 extra to play it in a different way where I can only play it for 2 hours because that's how long the controllers last or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not selling headsets. So it makes sense to do that. And you can bring incredible high fidelity experiences by doing VR modes for those games. But Sony is in the business of making sales. That's not going to sell headsets.
Yeah.
That's my whole overall problem with VR in general. And that's what we touched on the other day. But I'll leave that alone.
No. I think you were you were hanging out in the same area that I'm in.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Sho. Go ahead.
Well, Go ahead, Clay. Go ahead.
Because interesting point there, Mike. So then, philosophically, why try VR? Why does anybody try VR? It is always going to be more work. The 4 of us here, Marty is number 5. We do it because we love it. There's so many issues getting VR to just sometimes, and Quest stuff to just work. Mike was in my stream last on Saturday, and I had I gave him a heads up. I was like, look, I'm glad you're here because this stream is held up by a shoestring, and I had 2 crashes.
I was the shoestring.
Sound sync issues.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said in that stream, support your local VR streamers because the reason we do it is because we love it. Right?
Absolutely.
We absolutely just eat this stuff up. But if most people aren't really interested in it, why should any of these companies do it?
But that's the point is, why would hybrid mode pull you into that? Like, the people who are saying that are hardcore VR fans.
Yeah.
You're casual.
The VR
PlayStation
mode
gamer?
of those games. Yeah.
Bro,
The VR mode of those games are just purely to appease the VR owners. That's all it is.
At this point, hybrid mode is keeping headsets out of pawn shops. And that's real talk. That's the problem. I've seen PSVR 2s in pawn shops now. That's where we are with PSVR 2.
But
I've seen PSVR 2.
It's a fantastic retention tool for the people who already own it. That's what UEVR is for PCVR. You're not selling the index because UEVR is a thing now. but it's retaining the people and keeping the people in the headsets who already have it, and that's fine.
If
That's a
you
perfectly
can't
fine use
maintain
case.
excitement
You know what?
and enthusiasm, then your headset will die on the vine, and that's what's happening to PSVR 2. The bare minimum that okay, games are expensive, games are hard, PS and VR is hard. It's a niche market, got it. At the very least, if it takes you 2 to 3 years to make AAA experiences, dope. String people out with lower end experiences that are consistent, that are exclusive to your platform to justify why you bought it.
That I agree with.
That's the bare minimum Sony needs to be doing. Right now, you're saying that it doesn't sell headsets. Okay, at least keep the people happy that bought that $600. No, I'm sorry, $1,000 investment. So I don't know.
So you said something about pawn shops, and
I know. I just went on Facebook Marketplace to see how many of these PSVR 2s are on here.
I saw one here there for $350 in my near me. I thought about on the PS5.
See, and that's what I'm about to get into. You know what I never sold was my 3DS, and not to move topics, but I want to make sure we touch on this. Citra VR is definitely selling headsets because I've had a few people look at a reel I made about and look at you can have your breath out. You can excel.
I'm about to be the wet blanket. I'm about to be the wet blanket.
That's fine. That's fine because on my Quest 3, I was playing Smash Brothers, and it's pretty cool to play a game that was in 3D from the 3DS era on the Quest, and it works flawlessly with my Xbox controller. Yes, there's some buffering, but I mean she's still working that stuff out. Amanda Watts is a great developer who brought us Airlink. Brought us Airlink. So if anyone could figure it out, is that. But I mean, look, man. Quest out here winning, okay, and PSVR 2 is dead. So that's all I'm trying to say.
It's winning because it's got the mass market. It's got the perfect price point. It is the perfect device for this side of the crew, which is the lighthearted, light-in gamer. I want a mass library of things. That's where it's going to be king, and that's where I'm very convinced that the AVP will have to play on a different space because developers aren't going to can't do both. They're not going to make as much money on the AVP. They're just not going to.
PSVR 2 proved
right, exactly, right. So it's going to be so interesting to see how this pans out. I used to say that people are going to stop using their AVPs in about 45 days. I'm still going to stick with that. We'll see. So I'll check with you in about. Well, you're different, JDun, because you're an enthusiast. So
you're a content creator. You're going to use it.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the early tech enthusiasts when the next shiny thing comes out in about 3 months. Are they?
Because guess what happened when Sony had the PSVR 2? They shipped it to a ton of content creators, and they had these really beautiful boxes and
the Dragon Balls, the
Pokemon balls, right?
Yeah.
Outside of me and Marty, I haven't seen anybody else put one on.
Yeah. Can I touch on something? Because I didn't want to bring this up in this conversation, but it seems like we're going to this area anyway, right? We talked about the reason that we put on VR headsets. And I mentioned this in our private call, and why not? I'll bring it up again. I use the example of my wife, right? And this is a problem that AVP and pretty much all headsets are going to encounter going forward. And I'm starting to wonder if putting computers in our face is the right way going forward. So my wife works in corporate America. She often has meetings and Zoom calls, just like everybody in corporate America. And we are in a space where she finds that she needs multiple monitors. So I asked her, because she has a Quest. They're sitting right here collecting dust. She hasn't put it on in probably 6 months, right? And I said, hey, if your company bought Apple Vision Pros and forced your team to use them and said, hey, you guys can have these. It's free of charge. We're going to start doing our meetings on these. She said I would push back because I don't want to put that on my head. And there is no reason to put it on my head when my computer and my monitors do everything I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and it's not uncomfortable. I have to make an effort to put these things on my head to do the same thing, right? And that's the problem that all of these headsets are going to face. We want to do it because we're gamers and we're looking for an experience that's from what we've been playing for the past 30 years, right? So VR provides that. It's exciting. For productivity, everyone's talking about the main thing with Vision Pro is movie watching. And it's dope. It's amazing. But at the end of the day, who wants to watch movies by themselves? Who wants to sit in their room, put on their Apple Vision Pro by themselves, and just watch the best 4K movie in the world? Short answer: nobody in 4 months. You, me, maybe.
Your
But
wife
most
is
people
sitting right
don't
next
wanna
to you with
take
one
time.
on though. Like that's you're a different case.
But that's what I'm about to say. Here's the thing.
I was about to say, can you just synchronize
watching,
them together?
Yes. So there's
Okay.
share play. That's the thing. There is share play,
Mhm.
where we could be FaceTime together with a bunch of people and watching the same Disney Plus movie as long as everyone has an account, or watching the Apple TV show.
Mhm.
Me and my mom could be on the iPhone, my dad could be on the Apple TV, and we could be in our headsets watching it all together. Once again, if you're in the ecosystem,
But
if you're not.
you're sitting right next to Joy.
Yeah, okay. Hold no. We're not. No. Let's no. We're not gonna do that. What I'm about to say is,
serious,
Joy
that's
is in. Actually, a lot of times when we're doing stuff like that, she's in her own room. I'm in my own room.
Mhm.
So I'm laid out on my couch. She has her own couch. We have the blessing to have separate offices for her stuff she do and I do. Now, just like when we play a game together, we could play. Sure, we can go to tennis court and play tennis together, or we can get in a racket club. And she could be in her room and I could be in my room and we could play together. Then we go to Horizon and we'll play Super Rumble together. So that's what I'm saying. We're not sitting on the same couch together.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying. But me and her both travel a lot as well, which means I'm going or she's going. And so these are the types of devices now that allow us to watch a Disney movie or catch up on our show and still be present. That's where I'm at with it. Just like with you guys right now, I feel like I'm more present with you guys than I ever have been when sitting in front of the camera.
Yeah, and
because
I can
you
agree
guys
that
are
there's
life
magic
size
there.
in front of me.
Yeah, I agree.
But
There's
this
magic
is
there.
the
When I did
best
the
use of VR. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when I did the Quest Pro, I have a couple of friends who also had a Quest Pro, and we were in like work rooms together, right? And even in our cartoon avatars, the presence was really great. Like having the voices and the spatial audio, and just even seeing this person physically near you changes things. So I'm excited to see if that is something that Apple really pulls together, or if they stay in their like single player corner, so to speak.
I actually if you watch developer sessions, which is just not all the APIs are just not fully baked yet. They want co-located spaces. They want co-location to work with multiple headsets or no headsets, phones, tablets.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these things work together. Even the Demio, even the resolution game room can be played on phones with people who are in headsets.
That's great.
So they're starting from there. You know, we'll see, man.
I was going to say that was the most exciting thing about what the Vision Pro offers. Honestly, that if I looked at that whole presentation, that's the one thing I love about it is that you can pull regular people from their regular iPhones and bring them from their FaceTime call into your world and bring them there and engage with them. Right? I think that's the best thing to happen.
And then share my view to them.
And share your view.
That was the blessing for me. It's like, oh, mom, let me show you what I'm drawing. Or let me show you what I'm doing. Because she be thinking, well, you up in there playing the game? No, actually, I was working on a script for something and I'm doing it. Well, let me show you. Can you look at this real quick? And it's crazy.
That's amazing.
It's wild. Yeah.
I saw. Oh, go ahead, Clay.
No, I was just gonna say I'm waiting for the hype cycle to die down. I want to leave the hype cycle.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I'll reevaluate if I'm gonna ask my wife to let me get one.
I'll be honest, I've left the hike and I'm still hyped. I've left that cycle. Like yesterday, I was like, I had my little crash. I was like, oh, and then I woke up. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, like when he sent the link for River for us to do this, I was like, could I do this from here? And I'm like, oh, there's an iPad app for it. Oh, wait, I can do that. And I'm like, it works. I'm like, oh, it's working. And I got a text message while we was all talking, and I just looked up, pull it over, sent my little message, and was still in that whole moment with you guys.
That's great.
And that to me is just like, it's priceless, man. It's priceless.
I just want to add this one last thing about MVP, right? The Quest is dope. I love it. I think it's a great toy. The AVP is the only thing, even though I'm talking trash about it the whole episode, I feel like that's the only device that if I paid the money for it, it improves my quality of life. Like I'm still thinking it's lingering. I could use that right now. I really could use it, flaws and all, right now and be totally happy with it. So that's something to take away.
All right.
Well said.
I mean, we kind of steered back towards AVP. So
I saw that. I was like, oh, we just.
I don't think that's bad.
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
A hot
this
topic.
This can just be an AVP episode. That's fine. I'll split off your Arizona Sunshine rant to a separate video.
It's fine. I'm still mad at that, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. I've gotten over
And
it.
the thumbnail just seems to say PSVR 2 is dead. Long live AVP.
No,
What I'm trying to think of is what would revive the PSVR 2.
Games.
And I don't know if I have an answer.
Just having games.
What game?
Okay, so say they come out with heavy hitters, right? Say they come out with 12 new games this year, all first party. I'm still not convinced that'll move the needle. Because Vertigo 2, while it wasn't my favorite, I appreciated how well crafted that game is. I mean, talk about polish, interaction, gameplay, stellar. Have PSVR 2 folks been talking about Vertigo 2 in the same way that we talked about it months ago? I haven't really heard a peep from those guys.
A lot of PSVR 2 owners are also PC VR players. They had already played it.
That's right.
Those two fan bases are not Those two fan bases are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
But now
so
you come into
Sony's
this...
running into this now, where they're going to keep releasing these games that everyone's already played.
Right.
Well, that's the great catch-22 of this, because Sony to do this, Sony, like you just said, they have to step up with first-party offerings, because there is no money in developing for just one platform right now.
Nope.
Not even Quest. For every one Quest hit you see, there's 10 games that are completely dead, and those developers are like, how am I going to pay the bills and pay my employees?
Yeah.
Just straight up. Like, you kind of have to be on multiple platforms to be able to turn a profit.
Is anybody playing anything right now?
What's that?
Is anyone playing anything right now?
To me? Like, yes.
Period in general. Are you guys playing anything?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Tons.
Well, there you go. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I'm also playing Citra, actually, too. So,
see?
I couldn't get it working. Honestly.
Yeah.
We gonna fix that, man.
When you got yours installed, did you do it through PC or through your Mac?
Actually, brother, I didn't do any one of those. I have side loading on my. I have a cool video where it shows you how to side load from the Quest itself.
I watched your video, sir. I followed it.
So I installed it via the GitHub easily, and then now I have side quests on it too. So I was like, I just installed it that way. But it's flawless for me, man. And I even got the new beta 4.0 she got that's got the immersive mode and everything. It's wonderful.
I think it's a Mac issue I'm running into, because I had a similar problem when I had Age of Joy. I don't know if you guys played that, but when you can take, and I've had people experiment with this, you can take the same file and drag it into the folder on a PC and it works. And when you do it with the Mac, for whatever reason, something about how it processes and brings it over, it will not work. So that's why I was asking you, if you got yours working through Mac or through PC. But
I'd say it's cool. I would not say it's flawless. There are a lot of flaws with it. That it's in beta, so I understand.
I didn't mean. Yeah, you're right. So I didn't mean, when I say flawless, there's some games that run exceptionally well, and there's other games that just you cannot get it to run. The audio, the skipping, I could go on and on and on and on and on. With my friction issues I have with it, which is why I'm saying, like, when you said it's but if it came to Apple Vision Pro,
there would still be friction with it.
Sure.
With what controllers?
And three people would play it.
PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5.
You can't pair a controller. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Can you pair a controller with it? Okay.
Joy-Con, Modify controllers. Yeah, I got a PlayStation 5 controller right here, and yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I saw your setup. That was a good post on the.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Flexing on them.
Has anybody tried Hunt Together or Demeter on the Quest 3 yet?
Demeter is pretty dope.
Hunt Together, yes. Moving on.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
I had to refund it because there's nobody online. There's never anyone online, so I had to refund it. I have no idea if it's good or not.
Yeah. Oh man! So you haven't? So no, now Demeter. I want to hear his thoughts on it. No.
Wait, no. Demeter or Hunt Together?
Demeter.
I haven't tried Demeter.
If you take away, how can I put it?
I know Gamer Tag said it. He said it on his social media. He kind of said if you take away the mixed reality portion of it, then it's like what is the game?
I 100% agree with him. Okay, I think a lot of VR games suffer from, if you took this specific, I don't want to say gimmick, but trait of it away, it's a very mid game. Someone in Clay's community on Twitch says this all the time. That if you take away that it's VR, is it still a good game? Demeter was like that to me. If you take away that it was mixed reality, if you put that in an immersive environment, that's a very mid platformer. So the cool part of it was it building the levels and everything around your PlayStation. And even then, depending on how it reads your room setup, sometimes it didn't work. I had a piece that was like in the back of one of my corners that I couldn't get to. That I had to like basically reset my center to get that area to move back towards me so I could actually walk over to it, because it was behind. It was basically in the corner where it was partially obstructed by the corner of my room. So it's not.
Lego Brick Tales got that little thing right for me. Like, if you're gonna have a mixed reality, just let it sit in one area.
Make it a
and
kiosk
let me just
game.
spin it. Yeah, let me spin it around. But yeah, that
Anchor
thing
it.
having a anchor it, please.
Anchor it. Yeah, that was my biggest issue with it. So then once I got past that, I'm gonna keep you safe, brace friction. Once I got past that friction, then I was like, is this a good game? Is this a good, enjoyable platformer? Period. No.
Okay.
No.
Refund. Got it.
It's average. It's fine. But if you took the mixed reality away, and that there was nothing special about it.
Yeah.
So
I had the same impression when I played it. I had the same impression. Yeah.
It's
and then there's Hunt Together.
I don't know. I haven't even heard. I haven't even thought through Hunt Together. But for Demeter,
don't bother.
That's the interesting part. That like, if you took away the mixed reality, is it still a good game? I think that goes for any of the mixed reality experiences. No, are there any mixed reality experiences that you're like, if I took this away, maybe with the exception of Lego Brick Tales, if I took away the mixed reality version of that little alien shooter that comes with the Quest 3, is it still a good game?
The one where you're shooting little
first encounters?
Yeah. Not really.
Or it's a tech demo. That's all.
Yeah,
that's a tech demo, so that's different. That's a 5-minute experience.
I think Demeter, because it is a mixed reality game, made it magical, because I'm watching it, take over my room. I'm watching this thing shift and move around. And remember, I told you guys, I think you were asking about it. I said Joy hated it because she had to, literally get up and move around and had to grab the world each time. I said if they would have fixed that, I think the game would get a lot more traction.
But that's a lot.
But I mean,
that's a huge caveat, though. That's a huge.
It is. It is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't hate on Demeter for that, to be honest. The point of it was supposed to be mixed reality. Mixed reality was hotter than I think any of us expected. Quest 3 came out, and all of a sudden everyone was like, mixed reality. And I was like, really? Like, the camera's still kind of fuzzy, and it doesn't really look that great to me. I'm much more of a VR person myself, but people are really enthralled by mixed reality.
But that's my thing about that game. This is the last thing I say on it. If mixed reality is the thing that makes that game special, you have to get it correct. The fact that they got the anchors wrong and you have to move around the room and re-anchor everything, that inherently makes that feature, which is its defining feature, inherently flawed. That hurts the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could agree with that.
So if you're looking for a mixed reality experience that's good, should I get Lego? Because I haven't tried
Lego's
that
excellent.
yet.
Lego Brick Tales was the first game that Joy actually finished on the Quest. So I can say that she played that thing all the way through for like 3 days straight and didn't do anything else. And Racket Club is really good in mixed reality.
What about Micro Machines?
Oh God, we get in the podcast now.
That was gonna be this
Trackcraft with multiplayer is insane.
Trackcraft is cool, but I was gonna dismount on Micro Machines because, well, for all the amazing games we got over the holiday season, we got some absolute stinkers too.
Micro Machines is hard.
When Marty comes back on, I'm gonna just let him talk about Bulletstorm for 20 minutes.
Oh gosh, he raged about Bulletstorm.
Please, everyone within the sound of my voice, I'm gonna point at the camera. Go watch Marty Dude VR's review of Bulletstorm. I laughed my head off.
Me too. He just took headset off, turned on the camera, and raged for a good 10 minutes.
I'm pretty sure at the start of the video that the PSVR 2 is coming off his head. It's like literally being set down. He just like, nope. I want to go eat through this game, but nope, got to do it. And he was sent the game for free and still made that video. So, all right. Sho kind of went there, but let's talk about the stuff we are playing, and then kind of gush over the stuff that we're enjoying. Then we're going to wrap it up here. Clay, what you playing?
Finally finished up Arizona Sunshine 2. Took me 15 hours. I have apparently something called a streamer tax. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's when you're talking in chat, you're putzing around. It just makes the game go a little bit longer. People finish that game in 4.5 hours. It took me 15. I enjoyed it, but it was just severely flawed, and I just was mad at it. Vertigo 2, I just finished. Really liked that game a lot. I could not get with the story beats. The story just was so lost on me. If the story was just a little bit more my speed of story consumption, a little bit more linear and less it was a little too abstract for me, but still an enjoyable game. Right now, I also just finished Moss. So this is one of Mike's favorites of all time. So I finished Moss Book 1. Wow, what an adorable game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to the earlier point that you mentioned, Sho, when you're talking about friction, I chose to play that on the Quest 3 because it was like a grab and go meal, instead of like PSVR 2, where I got to stand up, plug in, and get that thing going, or PSVR. I primarily choose Quest 3 for my gameplay for my own personal stuff.
Even though it looks better. That's interesting.
Yeah. Even though it looks better on the PSV, because I did try it on the PC, and I was like, wow, Moss looks really great. But if I'm like in the kitchen or in the bedroom and I'm not near my PC, I have my Quest, I can take it with me if I'm traveling. Quest is here. I get to play that game wherever. But what I'm currently playing is I just started Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is a lot of fun. Some of the most fun I've had in VR recently, which is really, really nice. It's outside of a shooter. And then I'm going to start soon Red Matter 2. So that's been on the backlog for some time. So finally getting to that. So long list of VR for me.
That's dope. That's good.
JDun, tell us about Hearts and Solitaire and Battleship right now.
In mixed reality.
Honestly, man, yeah. So not a lot of gaming on the AVP, not really the focus, but on Quest. Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu comes out with its coming out on the main store this week. So been playing some of that multiplayer. It is hilarious to be in there fighting people and doing these little things. It's really fun. But honestly, one of the biggest features, I mean, I don't know if we don't have no time for this. I'm just going to really quickly say this. V62 update for Quest has a huge thing that I've been asking for the Quest platform to have since I got it, was browser gamepad support. So I've been finding like old emulator sites that will let me play old, arcade games and just geeking out on a big screen in my Quest playing playing like Metal Slug and all these old Neo Geo titles and arcade titles, and of course Citra VR and a whole lot of Xbox Game Pass. I am just in love with flat gaming again, but just in VR because I get to meld the two. Yeah, I need to meld the two together, and having a massive screen playing Xbox. I said we have a video out, me and my wife playing Mortal Kombat together. It was just. It's something she will not play it on the Xbox in the room, but she will get in VR and get cozy on her couch and play a RPG or anything. It's been a breath of fresh air, man. So and I haven't gotten to Power World yet. I'm a big Pokemon person. I have not gotten to Power World. I'm not gonna let that game suck me in, man. So and thanks a lot, Power World, because you're the reason why the Xbox Game Pass queues are like 10 minutes to even get into a simple game.
I will say I agree with you, Jay, that I was pleasantly surprised at how much fun I had playing Game Pass on the Quest 3. Just being able to travel with the Quest 3.
It is a killer
and
app,
again,
man.
It is really, really well done.
We should have had it 2 years ago.
100%. And having as big of a screen as I want in mixed reality and just like sitting up on my couch just playing, it's so cool.
Yeah. JDun, can you explain, because I guess I don't get it, what is the difference between browser Game Pass support and playing with the Xbox Game Pass app? What is
that? Oh, no. So, okay, perfect. So, if you want to play any game that's like NVIDIA, GeForce, what's that service called?
Or something like that?
Yeah. So that they got Ant Stream, which has this old arcade stuff. Anything that's like a streaming service. Originally, to do Xbox Game Pass, you would need to, if you would go to Xbox on the browser before this update, unless you had the Xbox Game Pass app, the controller wouldn't work. So you could not play anything. So now any website that has any way to use a Bluetooth controller, you can play those games in Quest now.
So why do you need Xbox Game Pass then?
Well, I'm playing Xbox Game Pass for Xbox games. But then if I want to do Ant Stream, I could do those arcade classics and those types of games. Or if I want to go to a Flash website that has like these old school games, that's it opens up the door for any browser type experience, not just.
So if Stadia was still around, I could use that.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Copy that.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Sho, what you playing right now?
Oh,
yeah.
Honestly, all I've been playing, I tried Demeter. Played with that. Tried Hunt Together. Couldn't find anybody, so let that go. I found myself wanting to finish. Really, it's so disappointing. I was hoping that would be the Phasmagoria. Is that the game?
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia. Yeah, I was hoping it would be that kind of thing for Quest, but no, not yet. But I've been finding myself finally trying to finish up Hubris. I thought Hubris. I still think Hubris is a great game, jank and all, but it is a VR game. So I'm on the last act of that and really enjoying it. So yeah,
that is. I'm happy for you.
Really? Okay.
What an answer.
The Quest 3 update hurt that game so bad.
I you know what? I think that was where I messed up. Are you playing on Quest 3 native?
No, I did, but what's the difference? I guess it's been so long since I played it. What did they do to mess it up?
I don't know, but I had so many crashes with Hubris.
Same. Frame rate issues.
Frame rate issues, crashes. It would just throw me into random things. The Quest 3 upgrade did not help.
I haven't had any of those experiences.
And then when I played the demo on the PSVR 2, that was the other last time I tried in PSVR 2. I played the demo of Hubris because I wanted to see what it looked like.
So the only time you break out your PSVR 2 is when you test another game to see if you want to play it, and then you go grab your Quest. And you go grab your Quest, and then got it. Okay.
You know what I am excited about? Genotype has an update coming out, right?
Their Quest 3 update's been out for a while. By the way, I'm
plugging. They have a new update.
They have a new one. I just
it's a combat update. Yeah, I have an early build of it. I just haven't got a chance to hop into it yet. I'm doing it right.
Wait, what is it? Because I actually liked Genotype. Like if you liked Hubris, I thought Genotype was a better game.
The complaints about the game, and I said this in my review, go watch it on my channel, is that the combat was too easy. Like the boss fights, y'all remember the big creatures that you fought? I said in my review they could barely be called boss fights. They've rehauled all those. They've overhauled like the way the combat works. They've overhauled like the enemy AI, so they don't like dumbly sit in the door, so you can just pot shot them the whole time. They've done things to make the game a bit more challenging, which I appreciated because that was one of the things that I told them directly was when I played in beta, this game's too easy.
Yeah, I feel like it's an underrated game. I don't think it gets enough love.
It is very underrated. Because. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Well, I'll say it off camera.
There were some people who were very vocal about why they were very confused as to why that game got 4.5 to 5 stars on the Quest, and they were blaming the fact that people weren't finishing the game. And I'm like, well, if you sat and finished the game and really just spent time with it, there's a lot of really great things about Genotype and. Yeah, the combat was a little easy. It was very predictable. I pretty much used the door hack to kill every enemy, so it was easy that way. But after overhauling that, it's a solid game. Good voice acting, good story. I was a fan.
Yeah. So you playing anything else? Those two, just Genotype and Hubris.
Those are big two. Some Demeter, and unfortunately lots of Slay the Spire, which is what makes me excited about playing 2D games in 3D. So,
okay.
What you got, Mike?
Well, look behind me.
Oh, that's what you've been playing.
Yeah.
I had not seen that this whole time.
Nah, Clay's been in my stream, so he knows this. I grew up playing role-playing games. This was my bread and butter. So to get something like this, and even the PCVR bros are going to come for me, but I don't care. The only game on PCVR that equals this is one, the first Asgard's Wrath game, and 2, Skyrim. There are no other big, massive RPGs like this. In Skyrim, you need 6,000 mods to play it correctly.
Yeah.
I've poured 90 hours into this game, and I'm not done. And I want to go back and play more. I had to forcibly stop myself. 1, because I need to edit some videos, and 2, because I need to play other stuff, either because I promised developers I would, or I'm going to be streaming more stuff on the channel. But I love this game. I absolutely love this. This is a game that I needed. And I said this forever. I think VR needs more variety.
Yeah,
it needs more. We need MOBAs. We need strategy games. We need proper JRPGs. It can't just be shooters and zombies and co-op, which I know a bunch of creators would probably prefer if it were just that. But you need, if you're gonna pull in the gaming crowd, it can't just be one segment of the gaming crowd. You got to be able to pull people who like other different types of games. So I love this because there's absolutely not a game on Quest like this. Not even close.
Yeah.
I'm making a video where,
wild.
one of the videos that coming up on my channel is, okay, you finish Asgard's Wrath 2. Now what do you play? And there's a bunch of like games that have elements of this that if there are certain elements of Asgard's Wrath that might have like scratched a certain itch for you, okay, then try this game. If you really like the roguelike stuff, try these 50 games because there's tons of roguelikes.
Oh, I love that.
If you like the companion stuff, if you like the adventuring stuff, like here are different games that you can try. They're going to be different parts of this game, but nothing has this total package. I love this game so much.
So it's deserved every bit of the IGN 10 out of 10.
Yes, for what I like, for the type of games that I like to play, this is damn near a perfect game. The only way the first game is superior is graphics. That's it. The second game is superior in every other way. I'm done.
I'm
discussion over that game.
Those are both on my roadmap this year. Yeah. So
okay,
ready.
What else have I played? Just Sunday, Clay. I'm not sure if you were there for the whole stream. First, I played Guardians Frontline, which was a tremendous disappointment. A tremendous disappointment.
You hadn't played that before?
What's that?
You hadn't played that before?
I played the €2 version on App Lab. So I was decided to play the full meta, like the meta store release, because I was like, okay, I saw potential there, but it needed a lot of work. And the stuff that I said needed work, they didn't fix. I'm going to go ahead and choose violence now. By the way, developers of Guardians Frontline, I know y'all worked really hard on this. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm about to rip your game apart. Why the hell do you use two different buttons to grab stuff? You grab your gun with grip. You grab your mag with controller. I mean, with trigger. It threw me off so much over and over and over again. And two, I get tired of games that are built to be multiplayer games and they just kind of throw in a single player campaign. And it's a very throwaway single player campaign. That's how that game felt. Even the names of the description of the levels were like domination, protect, conquer, defend, escort. These are all names of PvP modes in PvP games. And each part of the campaign, I only played 5 before I was like, I got to stop. Were like very, very quick. You play them in like 5 minutes. They're just short burst little missions. It didn't feel like they tried to make an actual campaign. And this is a game that y'all said
didn't actually stop. The game stopped for you. I was.
Oh yeah. The game
crashed.
The game crashed on the third time. On the third time I was done. But when you say this game is Halo meets StarCraft, those are two massively hills you're trying to climb, and they couldn't climb either one of them. The RTS stuff wouldn't measure up. The Halo part of it didn't measure up. Just massive disappointment. And then the last thing I played, which was also massive disappointment, was a demo from Wanna Dev Studio called Vestiges Fallen Tribes. It's a demo. It needs more time in the oven. I'm just gonna say that. So that's what I've been playing. But this is phenomenal. I love this game. Asgard's Wrath 2. Asgard's Wrath 2 was amazing. JDun told me because he played it way before we did, because you know, flex on him.
Oh, come on now.
But, no. He told me up front. He's like, Mike, I know the type of games you like. You're gonna love this game. He told me straight up, and I was like, okay, sure. And then an hour in, I was like, I love this game. He was right. So
it is something. It's spectacular.
I'm ready.
It's spectacular. All right. We're almost 2 hours in, so we kind of need to stop it
every
there.
time. Yeah.
We're gonna touch on some other stuff later. I am going to make it a point to every couple of weeks just hop in the studio and grab one or two of you and just say, hey, it's not a full pod, but let's just rap about some stuff. I'm gonna get Marty and Clay to go over PSVR 2.
PSVR.
Yeah, and just let y'all go to town on it, because even if you do your own separate videos for your own separate channels, but just have like a roundtable discussion about that. I'm doing my Apple Vision Pro demo in a couple of weeks, so I want to get back.
That's exciting.
So Sho and I could talk about Sho and JDun and I could talk about that. So I just want to get us together a bit more often than what we did, because we kind of waited till all 5 of us were available, and then some came out with Marty this time. But now we got to talk more often, man, because these conversations are great and they're needed. Yeah. They're necessary.
And 2 hours flies by with you guys.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. We got to yell at social sites more about dark skinned folks not having good avatars. We got to touch on that stuff. Those things need to be out there. All right, Clay, where can we find you?
You can find me, hey, call me Clay. Twitch is where I usually hang. You can find my YouTube, but if you want a lot of the fun and the shenanigans and you want to hang out with Mike,
watch as I fix Clay stream.
Help me fix my stream. Twitch.tv/hey, call me Clay. Hey, call me Clay on all socials.
JDun, where can we find you? other than in
Oh
your
man,
AVP.
I'm about to say you can find me in AVP, baby. I'm over here multitasking right
Where
now.
are you?
Loving
The
it.
Swiss Alps?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, buddy. In fact, let me dial this in. I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna dial back into this. There we go. We are now in the Alps. I'm talking to the wife over here, updating her on something. But yeah, man, you can find me in the Apple Vision Pro. You can find me right here with the Metaverse Mixtape, as well as on Getting Things Done YouTube channel with my lovely wife Joy Rain, as we continue to do now. We have 2 podcasts, Get Into the Metaverse and Spatially Aware podcast. So we're gonna continue to rock it, man.
Right.
Love it.
And that's done DUN, by the way, for those.
Yes, Getting Things Done, not DONE.
Yeah.
So Futuristic. Finally making videos again. That's nice.
Yes.
Love to see
Phenomenal
it. Love
videos.
to see it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal videos.
I got another one coming out tomorrow. So talking about AVP. But yeah, good to be back. And you can find me on YouTube.
My man.
I'm at Live Open Mic. You can find me you'll find me choosing violence on X, because sometimes I wake up and I'm just pissed and I just need to attack somebody, and I do. On Twitch 3 days a week, on YouTube. A lot of you find me through YouTube, and Instagram. I don't really do a whole lot with that. Also, I'm the community manager for 3 Pound Games, so you can find me at 3 Pound Games. That's 3LB Games on all social media, and 3poundgames.com. So check them out. All right. That's it. We'll be back. We'll be back soon. There'll be another full pod in about a month, but we're gonna do some stuff in between then. I'm gonna talk to the fellas and try to get it worked out. Go ahead, Jay. Just flex one more time. Flex one more time before we get out of here.
Hey.
All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll catch you next time.